hustle guy.
Got about 2 hours of sleep.
Love it. Love the hustle.
Hi. We'll just have Coach Kelsey start us off with an opening statement, and we'll go into some questions. Coach?
I have a lot of respect for Mark. He's doing great things with this team. 11-1 coming into this game. 12-1. I'm sorry, 12-1, and they're dangerous. They obviously have some injuries, just like we have some injuries. They really challenge you with how dynamic and quick and fast their guards are, and it's hard to keep them out of the paint, both in transition and in the half court. That was a huge emphasis of ours in this game, and I thought for the most part our guys did a pretty good job of it. They play very hard. You know, a team takes on the personality of their coach, and nobody was nastier when he played than Mark, and very good rebounding team. They crashed the glass, and we talked about that, meeting that challenge as well, and I thought our guys did a good job. Fortunate to come out and win. You know, last year you looked at the ACC teams that came out here, there wasn't, a great winning percentage. So we turn our attention to another really tough one in a couple days, and looking forward to the challenge.
Yeah, kind of going off that, Mark was in here, appraising your team for being the more physical one tonight. I guess how good was that to see? Because you guys are coming off a 10-day layoff, obviously, and just being able to come out there and and just throw a lot of punches, and then be able to also at the same time, they throw like a 14-0 run at you late, and you're still able to keep it keep your lead within 10.
A couple times in the game when we needed to, and when they made that run, the crowd went crazy. We answered, but I think that happened 2 or 3 times throughout the game, where we were kind of on our heels a little bit. They were dictating to us, and we came out and really upped our defense several times that one. Always playing with physicality and toughness is always going to be a big priority with us. Obviously, we were probably a little bit, too physical. I don't know, but some of it was just undisciplined, putting our hands on guys on drives, like some dumb fouls that we have to avoid. But they shot 1 million free throws at halftime. But I think we did a better job of cleaning up that in the second half, and that was a big difference in the game.
Coach, Don Shannon with Right for California. Can you talk a little bit about your defensive strategy coming into this? You're really disruptive on the perimeter there, really disrupting the passing lanes, very handsy with you on the ball. Like you said, led to a lot of fouls in the first half. But you're limited John Camden at like 1 of 10. Can you, again, talk about like a focus coming in?
He was a big key. They run a lot of what we call trick 'em stuff for him. When you have great shooters like he is, coaches are going to put their players in actions that are hard to guard, and they got a bunch of them for him. They got a bunch of them for 22. They got a bunch of get downhill drive stuff for number 7. I always say numbers. I don't say names. I'm always that way. If we were playing the 96 Bulls, I would say 23 instead of his real name. It's just what we do. 7, they do a ton of stuff to get him downhill, driving left. 10, same thing. They get him going downhill, going right hand. You have to be on a lot of tendencies with these guys. You have to be on your P's and Q's, if you will, from a scouting standpoint. Number 10 has one of the best shot fakes in college basketball, in my opinion. You have to stay down. He drew 6 fouls in the first half, and all we talked about was staying down on his shot fake. And we left our feet several times, both out on the perimeter and out at the rim. We focused a lot on the backboard because they crash really hard. That was one. We talk about winning the hesitations because, we crash the glass too when they secure the ball and we don't get an offensive rebound, they get a defensive rebound. We talked about getting back in transition because that's, I think, one of the things they're most dangerous in. They have all these shooters and fast guards, so you got to stop the ball and find those shooters. Then it goes into kind of the second phase of their offense, which is, some screening action and things like that. And then what they do at the end, last 10, 12 seconds of the shot clock, is they spread you out. They try to run some quick actions to get those guards going downhill. So we focused a lot on that. And it's not easy because they got good players and a good scheme.
I just don't know if you have a very detailed answer just yet because you have to watch the film, but and they threw zone at you a few times, and it seemed to kind of take the team out of the rhythm at times. But was there anything that kind of caused that, and maybe how did you get over that?
What took our rhythm out of our team was us getting them to the line 18 stinking times. It's impossible to get into a rhythm, and I mean, at the beginning of the game, we were really, really humming on the offensive end, but we couldn't get that pace in the game because whistle blows, stand at the free throw line, and it's happened to us several times this year. And you have no rhythm because it's, then they're going to get in their soft pressure and just kind of like give you a little bit of a slow trip up the floor. They were struggling to defend us, so they played way more zone than they usually do. But I mean, we shot 46% from the field and 38% from three. So, I think we played in rhythm. Played in rhythm for the most part throughout the game.
Then just in terms of like the injury front, obviously I'm a late scratch today for Michael.
Any like this stuff where we gotta do injury reports now, which is fine. And part of me says, I guess it's because of gambling. Is that probably what it is? I have no idea. Like, why all of a sudden are we doing that all of a sudden? But it's fine. So my whole thing is, like, the injury report will come out at the end of the week. I'm not talking about injuries anymore. I'm like, if you ask me about how this guy is, like, well, the injury report will come out at the end of the week.
Okay. Just with Kaysen's thing, because he didn't have a specified injury and he'd been playing, in the past 3 games and leading into break. Was there something that happened there during practice? That's causing him to sit out?
Yeah, I'm not talking about injuries anymore. So, yeah, he's injured.
Coach, I'm Morgan with the Berkeley Pulse. I was wondering, you guys had a large differential in the in the foul column, especially in the first half of the game. In the turnover column, you guys were kind of hand in hand, Cal and Louisville. I was wondering what you guys were emphasizing there in your transition offense, capitalizing off of Cal's turnovers in the first half.
Well, the free throw differential is we got to clean that up. A lot of them were just undisciplined. And they make it hard because they really, really attack you with their downhill drivers and stuff, and we got to avoid that. And we talked about how that took kind of the rhythm out of the game. And then you talk about the turnover differential. Is that what you said? You said like
you guys were pretty hand in hand throughout the first half, but I noticed that your team was capitalizing more off points off of turnovers.
Shoot, in any sport, the worst thing you can do is turn the ball over. If you lose the turnover differential in the NFL, you're going to lose most of those games. In baseball, you commit more errors, you're probably going to lose that game. Because when you have a turnover, it's an empty possession. You have no chance of scoring the ball. And, when we create turnovers or when we get offensive or defensive rebounds, like, we really, really, really push the ball. So, I thought that was important in the game.
And what's your largest takeaway from tonight, and how can you improve your team going forward from tonight's win?
I'll watch the tape all night. I won't sleep much because I don't sleep much anyway. I'll let you know more. We got to clean up fouling. There's a lot of stuff probably on the offensive and defensive end that we could clean up. But I was proud of our guys. We had several guys out that we talked about. Isaac played a ton of minutes. He's over there drinking electrolytes over on the sideline. He's like cramping up. Just so many guys emptied the tank. Javon, 11, 8, 3, 1, and 1. That's a heck of a line and really, really defended at a high level. Everybody. I thought Adrian Woolley stepped up, had a huge game for us. People get hurt. That's how sports are. That's how basketball is. That's how any sport is. It's just fun to see other guys kind of elevate when they need to. That's what a good team does. That's what a connected team does. That's why you have depth so that other guys can step up, and we did that tonight.
All right, thanks everybody.